welcome back to Study Abroad Diaries Tales Beyond Textbooks. I'm your host for today, and we'll be diving into the experiences of students who are about to study abroad. Exciting! We'll be hearing their honest reactions and real-time struggles as they prepare for this big adventure. So let's kick things off. Everybody, introduce yourselves and where you're going.
Hi, my name's Abreya. I'm going to Japan this semester.
Hi, my name is Paige. I'm also studying abroad in Japan this semester.
Hi, my name is Lisa, and I'll be studying in South Korea.
This is so exciting. And a good thing is that Lisa is actually going to leave tomorrow. So she is already feeling so freaked out. So we're going to get her raw reaction and how she's feeling? So exciting, but also nerve-wracking. Also nerve-wracking for sure. So let's start with the first question. What inspired you to study abroad and why did you choose your specific destination?
I'll go first.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to study abroad, and this is technically my third time back in college.
Wow.
Um, so I'm finally finishing up my degree. Um, and I've always wanted to, and initially when I was younger, like 18, 19, first coming to, I wanted to, but it was a background thought. I had a lot going on in life. So now that I'm returning and it's an opportunity that I have, especially because I really only have like this is my last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a very small window of opportunity. So I decided why not? It's not gonna,
Exactly.
I'm not gonna have another opportunity like this for a 4 month kind of trip to another country that is in this capacity. So, and I chose South Korea because um I've been interested in South Korea, and if I'm going to be very honest, I've been interested in a lot of like East Asian cultures.
Mm-hmm.
So South Korea is technically my second choice, but
Oh.
it's not any less of a like good choice for me. I had another place that I wanted to go to. I'm learning that language, self-learning that language. So I wanted to kind of immerse myself and be a little more aggressive with that as
Mm-hmm.
well as like experiencing living abroad. But South Korea, I was also learning. I'd been learning that language for a little while, a few years
Ooh.
back. So I had the itty bittiest bit of knowledge of the language. So it wasn't, that's why I'm like, it's not that I didn't want to go there. It's just I wanted to go there a little less and I wanted to go to the other location. But
If you
here I
don't mind
am.
me asking, what's the other location? I'm curious.
It's China.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I
Yeah, I mean, you could
surprisingly,
visit there though. You could
yes,
visit.
yes. And I just seem to pick up that the the language for like Chinese Mandarin a
Mhm.
lot quicker, it feels like. So that's really it. It's not that I don't like there's no real big difference. It's just I was doing so well. I was picking it up so quickly. Um,
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
Mandarin is a very diff like Korean is actually a one of the easier languages to learn. Mandarin's one of the hardest. So that's very interesting how you're like, oh, I'm struggling a little bit in Korean, but Mandarin, I got it in the bag. I'm like, wow.
So what I realized with Korean versus like Mandarin, so Mandarin, it is just what it is. It is a character. It is what it is, although there are very many ways, like one character, one word, how like our romanization of it can be many different meanings. Um, it's just those are you just need to understand what those meanings are.
Mhm.
Whereas in Korean, it's very similar to me to how English works, and we have a
Yeah.
lot of conjugations. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of added pieces that you can put into a sentence that changes it versus Mandarin, where they kind of are just what they are, and that's just that.
That is very true.
So
Wow.
it's not that I do. I think Korean is just so much more like to me. It's so similar to how English kind
Yeah.
of puts down and adds and puts words together. So and that's very difficult. English is a very difficult language to learn. So
That is also true. That is also true.
yeah, which
Oh,
is why I'm like,
wow.
when people are like, "Oh my God, it's so much easier." I'm like, it doesn't feel like it. It's so similar to how English is. We have three, like for there's three different ways to say it or spell it.
Yeah.
All have different meanings. So, and that's kind of how I feel with like not even just there, but like running and things like that. The way that we use English is so similar to how like Korean is used. And, like,
That is true. That is
so it's
100% true. Yeah.
and it's not
I mean, I studied Korean for 3 years, so like I know a little bit about like, how the conjugations work and everything. So,
it's
yeah.
I love them both. Or honestly, I like languages. I like learning languages. I don't think I'm like the best at it, but for me, Chinese was just easier. Like it to
Yeah.
me, it is what it is. You put
Yeah,
it
yeah, and everybody has different learning,
Mhm.
different learning styles. So
Exactly.
it is very interesting to see your output on language for sure. What about you two, Abria and Paige?
For me, when I was younger, I would say maybe when I was in high school, I heard about like study abroad and how there were like summer programs to go to like South Korea and stuff. But like I always thought those programs were so out of reach for me because it was like, oh, we're only picking like one student from each state of America and we're all taking you guys to South Korea or all taking you guys to Japan and countries like that. And I was just like, there's no way I'll ever be able to do something like this. So then like
Yeah.
I continued like I started college and then one of my best friends who also went abroad like she was like Abrea like let's apply let's do this.
Oh.
I was just like I don't know like I feel like it's not a reachable thing for me right now, you know? It's not realistic for me at the moment. And then like I was just my interest was initially for Korea and then it started to shift towards Japan to want to
Mhm.
study abroad because I really like the fashion there and the food.
Yeah.
Because we live in New York, like the food is just everywhere.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say like I don't know if it's accurate to what Japanese food is, but it definitely left a good impression for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was just before I was just like learning Korean and stuff, but now since I'm going to Japan, like I've actually never really learned anything in Japanese. Like I only know how to before I only know how to say like hello. But now I've been like learning the alphabet and like now I'm just trying to learn some kanji right now. So
Oh,
that's
clock
cool.
it. Oh my gosh. Kanji. I was still like when I was in your shoes before I went to Tenri, I was still like trying to figure out hiragana and katakana, right?
Mhm.
And I remember I had to do the placement exam
Mhm.
and I couldn't read anything in that exam. I was so stressed
Oh
out.
no.
And I remember waiting purposely for me to be the last person in that room. And then I raised my hand to the teacher and I'm like, Professor, I can't write my name in Japanese. I forgot. I was so
Oh no.
embarrassed. It was so embarrassing.
Well,
Um
now you're fluent, so.
yeah, exactly. I'm like semi-fluent now, so hey, it is what it is, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Paige, what about you? You're also going to Japan, right?
Yeah, so me and Abria are going to the same program, which is really exciting because me and Abria like had a class together beforehand, so we know each
Ooh.
other. And honestly, for me, it gives me a little comfort knowing that I'm gonna have at least one person because it is really scary for me. But same thing, kind of similar to Abria, like I kind of thought that like a program doesn't matter. It doesn't matter really where, but I really thought that studying abroad just wasn't something that would ever happen to me.
Mm.
I did first learn about it in college. I didn't really know about it back then, but I always had like a love for Japan, specifically like the culture over there. I just feel like people are a lot quieter over there compared
Mhm.
to like over here, and I really do just enjoy silence sometimes. For me, it was definitely also the food, but I'm a little worried at the same time because I can be a picky eater.
I
So,
see.
and also like the fashion as well. I really like the Lolita fashion, I believe it's called over there. Which is
Yeah.
something that you don't see here really
Mm-mm.
often. So I really love that from there. But yeah, I am definitely really excited. It's definitely just been nerve-wracking as well, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think picky eater, like if you don't like, let's say, like vegetables and stuff like that, it might be a little difficult to find stuff because almost all the things in Japan they have like kind of vegetables. So, I mean, unless you go to like a McDonald's then or like a KFC or something, then there probably wouldn't be. But if you don't like vegetables or something like that, let's say because I know somebody who doesn't like vegetables and they're going abroad soon, so she's gonna have a rough time, but yeah, so I completely understand the picky eater stuff, but the fashion and everything over there is like, just so nice. It's gonna be so different and you're gonna be pleasantly surprised for sure. All right, next question. How are you guys preparing for your trip?
Right now, for me, I like made a list of things I wanted to pack.
Mm,
Um, I know Japan won't have like things specifically for my hair or like makeup, so I've been just kind of like searching up, like not searching up, but like I guess shopping for things like that.
mm.
Hair care products, skincare products, and like I'm bringing deodorant. I heard they don't have
Yes.
deodorant there, so that's really it. Last night, I just like put some essentials in my suitcase right now. I don't know. I'm kind of not 100% ready to start packing everything right now, but
Yeah, yeah. You
yeah.
still have about a month to go, technically a month to go. So you still have
Yeah.
time to think about it. But it is good to the sooner you start packing, the better.
And I had just did my appointment for my visa, so hopefully everything follows through.
Yeah.
So that's really it in terms of preparation.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
I definitely agree with Abreya. I don't know. I've also started making a list, kind of on what I do need and what maybe I don't have to take. Parts of me have really been kind of struggling in the terms of like the cooking aspect because I like to cook, but I'm also aware that I can't bring certain things. Like I literally joked around with my mom. I was like, "Mom, can I bring the air fryer?"
The air fryer.
I was like, it would be so helpful. But obviously I know I can't because it's heavy and like it wouldn't work. I don't even know if they would allow it.
I don't know
Um,
either. That's a good question.
but my friend actually was nice enough and she kind of bought like little plates and like little things that I would need in terms of like cooking and stuff. So that was really nice. I
Mm.
also have just booked my visa appointment, so I'm really hoping that it comes on time. I was able to get an appointment for like March 6th, I think. And when
Okay.
I like went to like the website, they were saying it takes like max like 7 days.
Yeah.
And since we don't have any holidays in March like that, I'm really hoping that everything just goes smoothly.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I am a little worried about like medication wise. I have to like see and like call and be like, okay, like is this medication okay? Is this medication okay?
Oh yes,
Um, so
yes,
I'm a
yes.
little worried about that. But otherwise than that, I've just kind of been making a list and also trying to pack mindfully because I'm an overpacker. And my
Oh, I
mom made a
see.
great point on saying that you are probably not going to have as much closet space when I get there.
That is
So,
true. That is
yeah, I'm trying to be
true.
mindful.
If I remember correctly, Sugiyama, you guys have your own dorms, right?
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I would say for that, for number one, let me go to the medication part because that was also my issue. My mom was trying to send my medication through the mail, but it had like multiple problems. Like they kept having to send it back because they kept saying, "Oh, this is not the right packaging. Oh, this is not the right address. You have to be very specific. You have to put some Japanese in there." And I'm like, "Damn." Like they are very, very strict with their like what goes in and what goes out in terms of medications. So I would suggest that try to pack as much medication that you have as of right now. Um because it might be difficult for you to get it like while you're staying abroad. That is definitely my advice to you. As well as you might get sick over there. A lot of people haven't. I have gotten sick. I didn't get the proper medication that I needed because the medication over there in Japan is very, very weak and very watered down. So take as much medication that you need for those cases. as well as the overpacking thing, I would say maybe try to do this like thing where you would pack for 30 days and then use those clothes like for like, 30 days. So, maybe that's will help you to not overpack. Then again, I am also an overpacker. I pack everything that I think I need, so I understand the feeling.
I actually love that advice. Yeah, I
Yeah,
plan to
yeah.
like hopefully just make a whole bunch of outfits and then be like, oh, this can go with this as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely agree. Like me and my parents were trying to figure out because they wanted to do like care packages regardless.
Okay.
And I was telling them, I was like, it's very expensive. I was
Yeah,
like, it
it
is very
is.
pricey. I don't know how long it would take either. So I was like, I really want to try to avoid it if I can.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely agree. I do have like a little bit of bulk in medication, which is great. You know, I told my doctors in advance. But yeah, I'm just really hoping that I have enough painkillers. Honestly, that's my biggest thing.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
I get like horrible, horrible pain sometimes. So that's my only thing. And you just admitting now that like their medication is weak and watered down
Yes. Yes.
scares me a little bit.
Duh, but I would say that just like try to pack, let's say Tylenol, if you use Tylenol, right? Just like maybe have like the little tiny travel size. That way they wouldn't like number one be annoying about it because they care so much if the bottle is like over 8 ounces or whatever. But number two, yeah, just pack like little tiny little bottles of the Tylenol that you need or like the painkillers that you need. That way, in case that you run out of one, you can have another one. So, definitely with medication, I don't play when I go anywhere because I have really bad air sickness too. So, I need to have my medication ready or like, some kind of thing ready in case I get sick because I feel like I have a very weak immune system. So,
I
yeah.
definitely agree with that. Like I'm the same way sometimes.
So, yeah. Lisa, what about you? How are you preparing to go for your trip?
I'm prepared. It's been very interesting because for me, I really have been like indulging myself in so much Korea content.
Hmm.
But it's also something I've been doing for a while. I've always been like I've been watching Korea content for years. So there's been a certain amount of knowledge that I've already gained. So um it's not that I need like crazy. So I don't believe I'm an overpacker, but my suitcase is definitely over 50 pounds.
Oh my
But
gosh.
but that's the weirdest thing to me because I don't even have my clothing in my suitcase and there's so much space, but it's so dense. Um, so
Interesting.
it's just very interesting. I was just like, I don't understand. And if
Wait,
it's
wait, then
50
how to
pounds,
become 50 pounds? I'm trying to figure that part out.
when I tell you like lifting it up is like it's not so hard anymore. It's not that bad. It's maybe a few pounds over 50, but I have a duffel bag just in case it is because I mean lifting 50 pounds, like I'm thinking it's over 50 pounds. I have a scale that I put it on and it's over 50 pounds, but
Wow.
you never know.
Yeah,
You
that's
never know
true.
until you get there, and unless you have one of those really good scales that like hand scales, you don't really know. And I don't have one of those.
Yeah.
My expectation is it is because it's just so heavy. I'm not weak. So it's like what I looked it up. I'm like, I don't understand. I've taken so much out. I've readjusted my suitcase so many times.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I'm not a worry wart, but I would hate to not have the things that I want or the things that I need.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
me, I know like I said, I've been taking in a lot of the content of people who have studied abroad and their experiences. They're like, if you are coming from America, we have a very different, like our chocolate is different.
Mm-hmm.
Our like salty ch like chips, they don't really do salty. They do like
More
sweet.
sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't do a lot of savory. They do things like that. So like prepping like that. Um, I got my visa. I'm actually like checking in and they're like, oh, put your visa information in. I'm like, I
Oh
don't need
wow. Dang,
like
you're
for the
checking in
cake.
already. You're gonna be
Well,
ready,
it's
ready.
check-in. So for check-in, I'm flying through American. So sometimes some airlines are different, but I think they're trying to make it easier because when I get off the plane or when I'm going like I think maybe a few hours in before I land, they'll be handing out certain documents for you to fill out and things like that. So I think this is their way of making sure that it's a smoother, easier process because lines, customs, getting into the country. But I mean, I have all of that. It was actually very easy, very easy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it is. It's much
it's
easier than people anticipate it to be, for sure.
But I get it because I this is my first international trip
Yeah.
outside of this hemisphere. So I've traveled to like South America, I've traveled to the Caribbean. Um, so I've done those. Those are very short trips, but I'm
Mhm.
flying like what? I'm flying to Dallas and then I'm flying to Korea and it's a 15 hour Korea.
Wow.
So it's literally the longest I have ever would ever be in a plane. Um,
Are you afraid of like riding on planes by any chance?
no, I've been flying since I was like 6 months.
Oh, you're good then. You're good. You'll be fine.
I've been
If you could
flying my
sleep in a
entire
plane,
life.
you're fine.
Yeah. So I'm not really like I don't like turbulence, but other than that, I'm not really scared of planes. But that's kind of how I've been prepping myself. I've been taking in as much information as I possibly can and really reaching out and talking to like the people at the school to just make sure things are going as they should. The other day, it's my first international trip of this kind, my first time going to Dallas airport, and I didn't have any of my flight information. I'm like, I need to know because I only have like an hour layover. So I need to know these
Wow.
things. Like,
Yeah, 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 that's true.
yeah.
But
So
I would say I feel like the layover process is slightly more easier than people think. As long as you know like you're paying attention to like the signs and everything like that, you probably will be okay.
oh,
Um
I wasn't worried about that per se. It's just because I've never been to the airport and different airports operate differently. So it's very important for me to like just have an understanding of what am I looking for.
yeah, yeah, that's
So
true.
when I
That is
fly
true.
there, I'll be going into like a specific terminal, but their international terminal is in a completely different like their international terminal is different. So I need to
Yeah.
find like a how am I supposed to get there? Like sometimes you have to leave and come back into an airport to get to a different terminal.
Or you can go through the Airbus. Usually they have
Yeah,
Airbuses that go through there.
exactly.
So,
So they
yeah.
have one, and I was like, okay, so I just need to know where that is, like because that's fine. So called American. I spoke with someone. She gave me all the information that I needed. I
Mhm,
looked up how the layout of the airport looks, so I know exactly
mhm.
what I'm kind of looking for. Um, and that's what we're doing. That's how I've done it because I just need to have a mental map. I'm very good with direction. I need a mental map so I can figure it out.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the last thing you want to
Wow.
do is be lost in an airport and then like because a lot of people try and figure it out themselves and then like it's too late by the time ever like they ask for help. So I'm like I'm asking for help so I have a general
Yeah.
idea. And I'm very good with direction and I'm also very good at finding help. So
Hey, those
so
are really good tr like traits to have, especially when traveling. So, props to you for
yeah,
sure.
I'm not somebody that gets lost very easily.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm like, no, I just needed a simple mental image of what it was that I would be doing. And I even like looked up like what happens when people land. So because it's a completely different country, it's a completely different
Yeah. Yeah,
way
that's true.
of doing things in other countries. So I wanted to be sure that I had just the bare understanding of that. In it's Seoul that I'm flying into their Incheon airport. They have a smart pass.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
downloaded.
wow. So
So
convenient.
it's everything. So your face, they take your boarding pass, your your sorry, your passport, your boarding pass information, it puts it in there. And essentially you don't have to wait on a line to see a person when you get through. I do believe the security portion, you
Mhm.
it's a facial scan. And it's a shorter line, but I mean, if it's the difference between waiting on a line that's 10 minutes versus waiting on a line that's an hour. So I just wanted to prep myself in that way for what I should be expecting.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen, it doesn't. But if it does happen, I would be prepared. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Like it's the little things you don't anticipate that tend to trip you up.
Mhm.
So I'm just trying to anticipate those the things that I can,
Yeah.
control, like to like accept what you can't control and like change what you can kind of situation.
Exactly,
So,
exactly. And that's how it is at the end of the day. And I
mhm,
think you seem to be very prepared,
mhm,
like according to all the things that you've been saying. Because when I went, I literally I was with a group. So, well, kind of a group, more like these guys that I was traveling with, and literally we were sitting in separate seats, but when it came to like transferring, because we had to it was a 26-hour flight, basically.
okay.
26-hour like travel. So we flew 16 hours, then we waited in Hong Kong, China. They were about to leave the airport and I'm like, "No, what are you guys doing? This says transfer." Even though in the Mandarin part I don't understand it, that in English says transfer. We're supposed to go this way. So, yeah, you're definitely much more prepared than I was when I was first traveling. So, I'm wishing you the best of luck, and yeah, I'm so excited for you. I'm hoping that you get there safely and sound as well.
Yes, I think it will be. I know there's a lot of like information and a lot of like, oh, these are like the crashes going on. And I was talk to my older sister about it,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Stop saying that." And I'm like, I mean, it's true,
But it's
but
not gonna happen because
no, it's
plane
not.
crashes are very rare.
Also,
And yeah.
apparently, it's not just that it's very rare. It's because I mean, flying is one of the safest modes of transportation.
Mhm.
It's also not very. It's just being publicized a whole heck of a lot more.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like there's just some level of like, okay, there's media sensationalization going on in that capacity. So while it should not be out of your mind, it
Mhm.
isn't really as, it's not as bad. And if you think like someone was speaking to like, you can find the information for how many crashes there are
Yeah.
happening in the country right now and with our country's flights. And supposedly it's supposed to be less than what it was like the last few years at this
Yeah.
point in time.
Yeah.
So, and if that's the case, then why are we just hearing so much more about it?
Exactly,
That's mhm.
exactly. We
So,
have to think about the situation we're in right now, you know? But let's
yeah.
not get into that. That's way
Oh
too
no,
deep
no,
of
no.
a conversation.
Because it's not gonna stop me from getting on that flight tomorrow. That's
Exactly, exactly.
so
Like,
but I do
Kondio, you're
want to
gonna
get into
go like there and you're gonna have a great time. So
oh yeah.
excited, excited for you.